You seem like you're in positive spirits. Obviously, the result wasn't, what you wanted, but you did have some good moments in there, and you took the fight up a weight class on a short notice opportunity. So just run me through your overall emotions right now, looking back at it.
Yeah. Like obviously we always want the win, and I hate losing. But I have nothing to hang my head on. You know, it was everybody wants their debut to get the win. Of course, I hate losing. But you give them the circumstances, like I nothing to be ashamed of. You know, um, my coaches are really happy. My manager's happy. I hope the UFC is happy as well. I what my main thing is one of the cut men. I can't remember his name, but he came out to me before and he's like, "Hey man," he's like, "I know you're a really big underdog, but at this point, that doesn't matter. What the only thing that matters right now is if you go out there and fight. It matters if you go out there and perform. The result, it doesn't matter. It's if you can go out there and prove to the world that you can hang with these guys." And I really do believe that I showed everybody that I'm not. There's no point in putting me as negative 800 underdog, or positive 800 underdog, however it works. I'm really happy with my performance. I wanted the win, but I came out there. We stood right in the center octagon, like the center outline, and we stood toe to toe, and we fought each other, and we put on a good show for everybody at the Apex, and I hope for everybody at home. And yeah, like I said, given the circumstances, I'm really happy with my performance. And now it's kind of like now I really know what I need to work on as well. And so at this point now, I'm just excited to get back to drilling and really, really improve before I start my next camp.
And you fought Onama as an amateur too, so you knew him pretty well. How confident did you feel going into this fight on very short notice?
Oh, I felt very confident. Especially from training with all these studs down at the gym. I train at Sanford MMA or Kill Club FC. It's in the transition of switching right now. But I mean, you can put me against anybody in the world. I'm telling you, it's going to be a fight. They may be better than me, but I'm gonna fucking fight them. I'm gonna fight them, and it's gonna be a tough fight regardless. Win, lose or draw, you're not gonna get out there unmarked. And so that's really like my fighting styles. I'm mean. I like to fight. I like to get scrappy. I like to get in there and really throw down. And that's what the fans want to see, and that's what I want to show to the fans is that I'm a fighter.
And you have some huge names, some UFC fighters, Bellator, best fighters on planet Earth around you day to day at Sanford, and obviously with
Yeah.
the name page and everything. But what was the feeling like making your walk to the octagon? Was it different than anything you felt before? Did you feel any more nerves, or was it just kind of like business as usual?
It was business as usual. I really didn't know how I was gonna react getting in there. Because like this is especially with it being short notice. But I think with it being short notice, I didn't really have time to think about it. And like my coach Nick Lentz, he's just like, "Hey man, you're gonna be nervous. If you're gonna try to fight the nervousness, it's gonna make you more nervous." And so as those feelings of nervousness started to come at me, I just kind of took them. I took them with me. I was like, I'm supposed to feel this way. And a big thing is like as I got in the cage, my coach was like, look around the cage, like notice everything, notice the logos on the mat, notice the smell, like notice all the cameramen, like what everybody looks like, and it brings you back into that moment. And so then you're like zoned in, you're glued in, you're ready to go. Um, the entire experience was awesome. It was like I guess I never really knew what it was. I didn't know what to expect, and I felt like I was in a video game. I really felt like I was in career mode on the UFC video game. It was like, man, I finally made it here after all these years and all this lifetime of hard work to finally hit this goal. And I was happy to be there, and I was happy just to be able to fight as well. I love fighting, especially against someone that I've fought before and someone that I have a tremendous amount of respect for. I know that he has a tremendous amount of respect for me as well. And so it was the most fun I've ever had in a fight. The most fun by far. I loved being in there, and I cannot wait to be in there again.
So run me through what your coaching staff was telling you in between round one and two. What were the takeaways from the first round? What did they want you to implement going into the second?
Oh, um, it was. I remember I sat down, and I don't know if you know of Jason Strout, Coach Strout. He's a funny dude. He's character. He's great energy. And so I sat down, and it's the first time they've cornered me as well. And he sat down. We just started having like a regular conversation, which was hilarious. I really hope I get some footage of it. But he's like, "Hey," and I was like, "Hey, man." He's like, "How's it going? Congrats on your first shot in the UFC." And I was like, "Oh, thank you. I appreciate that." And like we were just going back and forth. And some things he wanted me to do was not stand in front of him and kind of move some more angles and throw some more kicks and keep that jab pumping and keep those feints going. And I didn't experience adrenaline jump between rounds. I didn't experience anything. I felt the most comfortable I've ever felt in a fight. It was really cool, especially with like the cameras on you and you're sitting in the UFC cage. It was cool. It was a good time, and yeah, I thought it was a great instruction between rounds. And I went out there for the second round, and I felt I slipped under a punch, and I felt the takedown there, and I shot for the takedown, and unfortunately he's got great takedown defense, or not unfortunately, but I didn't get the takedown that I was wanting, and but that's all right, man. I showed up to fight and I fought, and that's I'm proud of that.
Yeah, and ultimately, he got the arm and triangle choke submission. How deep was that? Was there any chance you were going to be able to get out of that, or were you just in a really bad spot and it was tough to really find a way to get out of that sub?
So at first, it wasn't super tight, and I felt like I could breathe still. And hats off to Onama and his coaching staff, because he made adjustments and was able to put me out. So it wasn't tight at first, but it definitely got tighter. And even with I did some proper defenses, it was still he was retching it tighter and tighter. And what I really enjoyed, what I respected, was the fact that he didn't try to squeeze all of his muscles right away. He kind of was just like a consistent pressure, and it slowly put me out. And great job for Mike Beltran too. Like, a lot of people were like, "Oh, he wasn't out. He wasn't out." And I was like right on the verge of going out. Like, I knew I was about to go out, and it was like right I was about to go out, he stopped it. And so, respect to him as well. Great job refereeing, stopped me from being choked out longer than you need to be.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely thought about my safety. But yeah, man, I wasn't tapping. I was going out. I was like, "No, man, you got to put me to sleep if you want to put me away."
So are you in a medical suspension right now, or are you able to fight again soon? What's the details as far as that goes?
My suspension, according to I thought if you go out, your suspension's like a couple months, or at least 60 days, and it was only 8-day suspension. So I was like, all right, cool, time to get back to training. I mean, I've been helping Amanda Nunes get ready for her next fight that's coming up in 2 weeks, and so I was actually out of town for about 10 days because I was in Missouri for the 4th of July weekend, and it was already ready to go again. And so I went up there, and I'm already back to sparring today. And yeah, like, obviously I wanted to take a little bit of time off, but I made the promise to her that I would be there for her, and so we're right back to the grind.
Well, that's very cool, having the lioness.
Yeah, right.
Many consider the pound for pound greatest female mixed martial artist ever, and clearly
she is. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So what is that like, having her around and training with her?
It's cool. It's just like her cage presence, and like the way she carries herself, the way that she's very humble and very respectful. And like a lot of times, like, you never really know how somebody with that, like a high profile name like that, is gonna react to you, or how they're gonna like treat you. And she's very welcoming. I already feel part of the team, or I feel like a part of her team already. They welcome me with like open arms, and yeah, it's been a great experience through and through. Just being able to train with her and get to know her and Nina and know their daughter, and get to know Roger and their entire family, and it's really cool. It's and she's good. She's a freaking stud. You always wonder what the champ's gonna be like, and she's a champion for a reason. And I'm telling you, she's gonna wipe the floor with Pena come in 2 weeks. She's looking great.
Yeah, so I just wanted to ask you official prediction, like how do you see that going? Because Pena is very durable, but Amanda, a lot of people felt like she should have run right through Juliana the first time around. So it was one of the biggest upsets in MMA UFC history. So what is your official prediction? How do you see this rematch going?
Oh, she's gonna she's gonna dog her. I think she's gonna beat her. I know she's going to beat her. She's been working all areas of her training, so I think any way the fight goes, Amanda has the advantage, and she's definitely gonna show that whenever she comes to fight night. I'm not gonna give an official prediction. Of course, my official prediction always gonna be like, oh, she's gonna put her away in a minute. But I really think she's gonna win. I know she's gonna win. She's gonna come back with the belt, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a celebration for her. It's awesome. And like the training camp she's put in, it's been crazy, and it's been really cool being able to watch somebody kind of peek through camp. Because usually when you're when you're training like at Sanford, I'm usually like, yeah, I'm focused on my teammates as well, but I'm more so focused on myself getting better. And so now they brought me in to focus primarily on her, only on her. I'm not worried about what I'm doing. I'm worried about how she's doing. And so it's been cool to see every single week she's gotten better and better and better. And she's peaking at the right time. Wow, she's looking mean. She's looking good. Yeah, we've been trying to emulate the best that I can, and it's been cool, like trying to pretend like you're another fighter, kind of changing your style up and doing different things, kind of throwing what she throws. And so I've been watching like a lot of tape on her as well, and it's cool, to be honest, because I know like I'm more so focused on the men bantamweight division. I never focused on many other divisions, and so now I've been kind of diving more into the female bantamweights, and it's really cool to see like their style and how they got there. And it's been a good time being able to working with her.
Very cool, man. That's very exciting. Well, I think that the question that everyone wants to know is your contract details.
It's a 4-fight deal. So I got 3 more with them. It wasn't just like a one-off fight. It was 4 fights, which is awesome. Very thankful for. And, give me a little bit of time to recover and get back to training. I really want to focus on. I was always in such a rush to get to the UFC, because that's your dream. You want to get it. Get there. You finally want to achieve it. You want to make all this worth it. And so now that I'm there, now I'm like, all right, now we can take our time. I'm in no rush. I just got here, and I'm going to be here for a long time. And so I really want to drill a lot of areas of my entire training, and I want to become the best fighter that I could possibly be. I have high expectations for myself. And so to get to those high expectations, you got to put in the work, and that's what I'm willing to do. But, 4 fights, so I got 3 left. And like I said, man, I hope the UFC is happy with how I performed, especially coming off the couch. And we'll see what we can get going next,
What's the time frame? When are you hoping to jump back in there?
I'm looking to jump back in there about October, November. So about 3 months or so, 3 or 4 months. I want to take a good month of just drilling before I start camp again. Went fishing this morning. It was the first time I've actually ever gone fishing on the ocean. So that was really cool. That was a good experience. I went with my girlfriend's dad. We went out, and we were looking for, we were trying to get, there's some tuna we were looking for, just a bunch of different ones, but it was just a bad day, and we caught 1 fish. And he's like, usually we catch about like 10 to 15. We caught 1 fish, but it was so awesome to like they were upset they didn't see any because they really wanted me to catch like a 30-pound fish and stuff. But like personally, I was just happy to be on a boat, like I haven't been on a boat in like 5 years. So I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And especially, to be out there on the ocean too, especially like watching the sunrise. It was awesome. Didn't catch much fish. Caught 1 and we threw it back. But I think we might be going up to like Jupiter next week to really go get some fish, because apparently up there it's real good. Because we went down in Boynton Beach, where it's a little bit more populated, and so the fish aren't as crazy. The fishing's not as fast paced, but it was fun. Yeah, I got back at we got out there at 5 a.m. I got back around 9, and then was training with Amanda at 1, and then I got an interview with you. So it's been a busy day.
I appreciate the time, man. It's definitely great to talk to you again. It was exciting watching you in your UFC debut. Before I do let you go, man, I want to give you the floor. Please tell people where they can follow you on social media. And if you have anyone to thank, the floor is yours.
Yep. First and foremost, I want to thank my entire team at Kill Cliff FC, all of my coaches, all my family, especially for all the support that they've given me. And especially, honestly, thank you to all the fans out there, because when you're on that spotlight, a lot of the times you can get a lot of negative feedback from people, and I've gotten nothing but positive support. You know, people are really excited to watch me get back in there. People like my fighting style. People like that I didn't just run around. They like that I stood right in front. So thank you to the fans. I found some funny memes of me, like one of me going to sleep, which was really funny too. Like I'm taking all this positivity. You know, again, thank you to all my sponsors, all the ones from Eureka, Missouri. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for having me on again. You know, it's cool because I think the first time I talked to you was probably like 2 years ago or so, when I was still fighting on the local shows, and it's cool. Like we finally got here, so now it's time to get to the top. I really want to become a world champion, and that's what I'm going to put the work in to do.